Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's Ferris episode on GTA 5 with some of the dumbest AI I think I have ever seen. Now, I believe the goal of this mission, I don't know myself, but you got to sneak through this hangar. Now, driving through the hangar with a car with bright red lights and bright red neons should not be possible, but with, I guess, the way the AI are coded in that, you know, it's only to do with cones of vision, if you can be very sneaky and drive your Kuruma in such a way that you don't, I guess, really go through any of these cones of visions for very long, you can actually just drive through. Who needs to do stealth missions on foot when you can just drive your armoured car through all of that mess? Now the clip's actually longer than they drive it back out as well. So that is some of the dumbest AI defenders. They're the worst guards I think I've ever seen, and that is something in this series. The Internet Help Desk is up next, also on GTA 5, racing around by the airport. Clip a curb and the car goes for a big tumble. I mean, that's not so unusual for vehicles. You know, we've seen it happen a few times. However, Turismo manages to open the boot as it was tumbling through the air, and that's wedged on the floor, which means the car now can't roll back over again. I didn't actually know that the physics would stop it from doing that. I can't ever come across that before. So, there we go. On to Horizon 5 next, with a big old super jump for the Porsche here. I mean, jumping a decent way. It's a long way downhill. However, there's a rock in an awkward place. The car they were following seemed to phase through the rock almost. I don't know where that one went, but this one is parked. This one is relatively well parked on the side of a mountain there. So, I mean, it was a good amount of distance. At least the stunt jump was completed. We'll say that much. Max is up next on Horizon 5, driving around, going for a little bit of a search, found a bonus board, wants to go and get it. As they head towards it, managed to get the car stuck on the terrain, spun, and then wedged very well across in a narrow part. You're not really supposed to manage to put your car there. It does eventually kind of glitch itself out a bit, and does get the bonus board, so at least that much is completed as stuck as said car is. No one for now. Up next on Horizon 4, running at very high speed with that Alfa Romeo, trying to chase down some AI cars. Everything is going, I think, fairly normal. Up ahead, though, the off-road truck has a big wobble, and that's one way to get past it, I guess. I mean, the Ridgeline, not normally the vehicle you'd use for this sort of high-speed event. The Alfa Romeo just clean undertakes it. Again, didn't know the physics engine was going to let that one happen. Wouldn't try it normally, but there we go. It apparently works. The right foot up next on Batman Arkham Knight. They're calling in their vehicle when they land on the floor, and the AI cars decide they don't want to go and have a fight with the Batmobile, and best thing to do is to go straight through a building. Well, I guess if you can phase through a building, you can get out of the way of a Batmobile at that point. So I guess it kind of makes sense. Ish. So Wolfie is up next on Motortown. Now, they are driving around in an MX-5 clone, I guess, heads toward a garage to go fix up their vehicle. It's taken a bit of a battering and so on. Sure enough, everything is all normal, everything is fine, and as they leave said garage, they forget to check both ways before crossing the road, and high-speed bus out of nowhere. Well, now you have to go fix your car up again, aren't you? I don't quite know why the bus was going so fast at that angle. I don't know if it's player controlled or anything about that game, but yeah, sudden bus appearing, not what you want. Dilly Bar is up next on Grand Prix Legends, driving some very classic Grand Prix cars when there's a wheel-to-wheel contact and a big old flip. Yeah, the car the camera's following brakes just a little bit earlier than perhaps the other vehicles, and yeah, all it takes that little bit of contact and something goes spiralling through the air. We're on to Circuit Superstars next with a spooky squid. It goes for a bit of a dive bomb into the hairpin, gets a bunch of places. All is, I say, relatively okay. All is less okay on the jump, though. Karma is repaid for the dive bomb. Not only that, they get a penalty for being on the wall, but, I mean, the grind was exquisite. That is one of the most impressive I think I've seen on a game for a long time, managing to grind along the railing and along the wall. But yeah, not going to do you good for the race. Raven Scar next on Farming Simulator manages to get sideways in a truck, hit something concrete, and then become a spaceship. For whatever reason, when this truck is on the side, it just wants to accelerate upwards, and we are talking at serious amounts of speed here. This is now 4,000 kilometers an hour and still climbing. I mean, it's got over 5,000. It's going so fast, the speedo's broke. That's an awful lot of speed. James on the long drive is playing around with the AI traffic mod, and occasionally it spawns vehicles in flipping through the air. I mean, the bus is the right one to deal with it, I've got to say, as the police car is annihilated. But it's never so fun when vehicles are spawned sort of directly at your face. Super Toast GT is our final clip of the day, also on the long drive. Now, they are going rather fast with a truck downhill, and the problem is the brakes are really not up to the task of slowing this thing down. It's really struggling to keep under control. The brakes are just not very effective when it starts going this fast downhill. It's bouncing around on the side of the hill, still just about fighting for control. It's wiggling from side to side. I mean, they do credit where credit is due, doing a good job of almost managing to stop it. However, it's gone for a spin now. Now we're going to go backwards. You can see how steep the hill is. It's not good as it clips onto the rocks, digs in and goes for a roll. The thing is, this is a very steep hill. I mean, as you saw that brief shot, but it's a really seriously steep hill. And, well, when the truck starts rolling, it wants to go for a record. We've had a truck just try to set the speed record. I don't think it quite got it, but it got very close with that Space Lodge. And now we have a different truck on a different game going for the roll record as it's tumbling. And it's still going. It's lost a wheel. It's lost various bits and pieces out of it. I mean, the baskets are holding strong. No, we're still gonna tumble down. Go for kind of more backflips than rolls, but I mean it's still flipping down this hill. Yeah, one wheel is gone. The other's clinging on surprisingly well. We're gonna go over a rock now, and we're gonna go for some spins just for good measure. It's lost the, I guess, kind of the bonnet. Another wheel's pinged off, and you're not gonna get some of those back either because they're gonna be a long way gone. That's a serious hill and a very serious crash. But there we go. Yeah, apparently going for record breakings on this on this episode. That is, of course, going to be it for today. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form. There'll be a link to it in the description. All the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, a goodbye.